name is Kelsey Curren, and I'm a senior, and this is for field practicum, and I did my intern at Jacksonville Center for Independent Living. And this is my professional presentation on ethical dilemma. Ethical dilemma. An ethical dilemma involves conflicting principles. These are situations in which it is difficult to make a moral decision, either because the right course of action is not clear or the right course of action carries some negative consequences. Okay, there are two ethical dilemma choices, and the first one is ethical rules screening, and the second one is ethical principles screening. Ethical rules screens is used as a step in ethical decision making by consulting the Code of Ethics for guidance, and this screen should be always used first. There are 3 steps for this screen, and the first one is examine the code, and the second one is if the code applies, then use it. And the third one is if the code does not address the problem or provide conflicting guidance, that's when you use the ethical principles screen. And the ethical principles screen is a guide for ranking order ethical principle and priorities. And there are 7 principles. The first one is protection of life. The second one is equality and inequality. The third one is autonomy and freedom. And the fourth one is least harm. The fifth one is quality of life. And the sixth one is privacy and confidentiality. And the seventh one is truthfulness and full disclosure. Okay, the NSW Code of Ethics, Values, and Principles in guiding this process is competency 2.1.2, and that applies social work ethics, ethical principles to guide professional practice. And by this, social workers have an obligation to conduct themselves ethically and to engage in ethical decision making. Social workers are knowledgeable about the value base of the professional is ethical standards and relevant laws. Social workers have responsibilities to their clients, to the people that they work with in practice settings, and as professionals to the social work profession and to broader professionals. And the ethical principles are social workers' primary goal is to help people in need and to address social problems, challenge social injustice, respect and inherent dignity of the working person, recognize the central importance of human relationships, and behavior in a trustworthy manner. And social workers practice within the areas of competency and develop and enhance their professional expertise. I have followed the general decision-making model for my ethical dilemma, and the process of this is I had identified the problem. I determined who should be involved in the decision-making process. I identified values held by people in step 1 and identified the goals and objectives that may resolve or reduce the problem. And I found different strategies, and I had chose, with my field instructor, the best strategy that was, made, and I monitored the implementation. Okay, experience facing an ethical dilemma. I did my, at Jacksonville Area Center for Independent Living, my ethical dilemma was dealing with this woman. She was middle-aged, and I had to help her do her checks because one of the advocates that she normally goes to see, they do it for her, but she had called off sick. And so this woman, she had a mental illness, and she just had multiple personality disorders and everything. So when I was helping her, she handed me her bills, I helped her, and she just came out the blue and said that she wanted to kill herself. And then so I tried to find, appropriate way of trying to change the subject, but I did feel nervous inside because I didn't want to say the wrong thing. But I had told her, that, what about your family or, or your kids, because she have children and she have family. She was just like, she was going to kill them too. So I just felt like in the awkward situation, and I really didn't know what to say. And then she had like just jumped out the blue. She said, I apologize, I didn't mean to come out. And then she just said, I just had a long day. And I asked her, how was your day? And I told her that, I'm available. I would see her and talk to her. She, that I'm here for her and stuff. So the lady, she apologized, and then she sat there. She came in like around 12, and we sat there until like we closed, just talking. So, and I mean, she was happy for me to listen to her and everything. So I'm happy that, I helped her with that, but that was just an experience I never had. I had received supervision, and social workers are supposed to maintain confidentiality. However, due to the situation where a person's life is in danger, and including other people, I had to take action and had to cross that boundary by, like invading her confidentiality. And I had informed my field instructor, and he handled the situation with that. And also, after that situation, we had a self-care meeting, and we had a duty to warrant training as well that I had attended just because of that situation. And just so, like, if another intern, was to be there and they went through that situation, they can, prepare for that and know, exactly what to say. My conclusion is with, like, long-term goals and, things I probably could improve in and stuff that I plan on using for future reference. The briefing, when I debriefed with my field instructor, it helped me out a lot because I was still nervous and everything, and I felt like that I said the wrong thing. I didn't want to come in the next day and then said that she killed herself or some other people. And my weakness was the fear of saying the wrong thing, and I feel like that I had showed that I was nervous, but I got more comfortable when I was like, just talking to her. And impartial, checking for self-interest, that's a long-term goal that I plan on achieving. General, making the same decision in similar situations. So if I come across another ethical dilemma, I know how to handle the situation, and to always go and inform like my supervisor or someone. And to explain the decision to others, like as I did to my field instructor and to the other staff members at the training and stuff. And self-determination and to self-care, because when I do in that situation, I wasn't taking care of myself very well, and I realized that, dealing with situations like this, it is important for, self-care. And these are my references. Do anybody have any questions?
What happened after your supervisor took over? Like, did she get help?
Yeah, she got help, and they was just like that. She normally says that to get attention because she normally don't get attention, and the consumer that normally she comes in and she, in like a domestic violence relationship and stuff. So she just going through a lot, and then just having like, the multiple personality disorder, that her mindset is just somewhere everywhere.
Gotcha.
But she did receive, they sent her, they sent her to go receive therapy and stuff, and she was under supervision for a while.
I have a question for the principles of confidentiality, which is what is kind of bumping up here with right to harm and right to life. And I think that it's very common for students and new practitioners to be like, oh, they said it, and I know that means I have to say something, but what do I say, what do I do? And I think it's really important with your self-reflection that you were like, okay, this is making me nervous, but keep talking and kind of getting into that, and then you can slow it down. Because sometimes you feel like you have to like immediately, but if you can just slow down the process and kind of be like, okay, what did I learn? What do I do? And it sounds like your agency even took that and said, okay, how can we teach students or interns or other people that are working here how to slow that process down and help them? That's really a interesting situation because you're also promoting kind of that leadership in adaptation to things that are going on in the field of social work and social services and things. So sorry, long roundabout. My question is, do you feel like with this situation that you protected life?
Mhm. Yes, I feel like that I protected it because if I could have kept it to myself, but I had went to go talk to, my field instructor, and then I talked to the lady who always helped her with her checks and everything. So I feel like that I protected her life and, other people's lives as well, because when, like she said she was gonna kill herself and then she involved other people too, so I was like, well, I didn't feel comfortable with crossing that boundary because I just met her, but I was like, well, she had other people's lives involved, so I had to cross that boundary and inform, supervision.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel better after, like, I felt better in some debriefing and stuff too. They helped out a lot through the process.
Right, that consultation with
Yeah.
supervisors is very important, absolutely. You did a fantastic job.